Some things are universal. For example, we are all born. That's the first one, right? Like we're all born, then we have a stage of dependency on our parents while we're at home. It can range from 0 to 18, or for some, even after that. And then we go to college, we get a job, we start our own family. So at this stage, you are now independent. And then we're back independency at 65. When we retire, we need a pension. So now we're dependent on the government, and then probably depending on some healthcare, some doctors and stuff for the last stages of our lives, and there we die. So life is a cycle of dependence and independence, and sometimes back to dependence again. Well, it's kind of similar in the financial space. The financial life ranges from dependence into independence, and hopefully not back into dependence again. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Welcome. My name is Oluwatoni Oyemi. I'm the founder of Swiss Money Coach, a financial consulting and coaching firm based here in Basel, Switzerland. We help people all over the world achieve financial freedom, achieve their financial goals through a series of solutions that we offer. So I'm glad to have you here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your friends and family. So what does this look like in terms of dependency and independency? You see, there are 7 stages of 7 financial levels to financial freedom that I like to call them the 7 stages of financial freedom / financial independence. Stage number 1 is financial dependence. So this is just like a baby that is dependent on their parents, for everything. They can't work, they can't get a job, they can't do anything for themselves. Some of us are like that. So we are either children and we're dependent on our parents still, or we are in debt, a lot of debt. We don't have any money. We're dependent on the government for social assistance, or you've lost your job or something. So at this stage, you are just 100% dependent. You're not in control of your finances. You're in a ton of debt. You have a negative net worth. You don't have a job, or even if you have a job, your job doesn't cover all your expenses, so you're always in a minus. At this stage, you're dependent on the system, on somebody else. Maybe it could be your parents or a partner or something, or the government. So this is stage number 1, and the goal is to get out of this stage as fast as possible to get you to stage number 2, which is financial stability. So financial stability is sort of the place where you have at least $1,000 in savings for an emergency. If something was to happen to you or to your family, you have that amount. You could still have some debt, which you're still paying off. However, you have a stable source of income that is taking care of all your monthly expenses. It's often called living paycheck to paycheck. So a person who is financially stable is living paycheck to paycheck. So if you lose your job, then you could fall back to financial dependency, right? But as long as your job stays the same, you're able to meet all your bills. And this is where most people actually are. If you say, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm financially stable. I'm all right. They don't have excess, but they are also not in the negative, right? So they're just stable. Now, to get to the next level number 3, which is financial breathing room, or a breathing room, level. This is where you've paid off all your debts. You don't own any debt. Now, this does not have to include your mortgage, because that's something you can pay off over your life as you build your net worth and your assets and all of that. So it doesn't have to include your mortgage, but you've paid off any bad debt, any consumer debt, credit cards, all this kind of things. So you have some breathing room, and you have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. So when you get to financial breathing room, if you lost your job, you're fine for 3 to 6 months. You have some breathing space. If you had a large expense you have to pay off, you can afford it. You don't have to go back down, to the next stage. You have some breathing room. And I recommend at this stage between 3 and 6 months. If you live in a country like Switzerland where you can get unemployment insurance, then at least 3 months. If you live in other countries where you don't have this, then at least 6 months. And in some other places, you may even need more. But let's just keep it at 3 to 6 months for financial breathing room. Now, for the next stage number 4, this is coastal financial independence. So this is a stage you've hit where you've been investing, and if you were to stop investing today and not add any additional amount to it, your investment portfolio will grow over the next 2-3 decades, that by the time you retire at 65, you'll be free. You'll be able to live off your portfolio. So this would be somewhere around $300,000 to $500,000 in investments, that when you retire, if you have, and you need to have at least 20 years of space. So 20 to 30 years is recommended, with 20 years being the minimum. So if you have 20 years, so you've invested, let's say you're 40 or you're 35, you've invested 500,000 already into the stock market, or 300,000 depending on how much you want by the time you retire, and this will grow to 1.3 or 1.5 or 2 million roughly by the time you retire. So if you've hit that amount now of 300,000 to 500,000 in the stock market, and you have 20 to 30 years space, you are in the coastal financial stage, which means you can even change your job. You can do more part-time work. You don't have to be earning as high because you're not stressed. You can just have a job that takes care of your living expenses. You could work 6 months of the year and travel for 6 months. You could have more flexibility in your working condition. You don't have to work 9 to 5 at this stage. So this is the coastal. You're just coasting, cruising along. You can spend more money on luxury things because you don't have to stress about your retirement or things like that. So lots of people, or fewer people, are in this stage. However, they don't want to stop working, and I don't think it's a good idea to stop working until you hit the next stages. But if you wanted, you could stop working as much. You still have to work, but just not as much. You could work part-time. Now, to go to stage number 5, this is more of financial security. So at financial security, your portfolio, your investment portfolio, whether it's stocks or real estate, can cover all your basic expenses. So at financial security, if you were to lose your job, you'll be fine. All your expenses will be covered. However, you can't do more than that. You can't take expensive trips or buy expensive things, but you'll be fine. You won't die, you won't suffer, you won't get poor. You will be well taken care of, So this is financial security. So usually if you need, let's say you need $40,000 every year, or 40,000 francs to cover your basic expenses every month, then you need at least $1 million in the stock market for this, $1 million in the stock market that can give you that 4% every year, So if you need more than 40,000, then you may need maybe 1.5 million to give you 50K, or you may need even more than that, probably 2 million. Anything above 1.5, you're really just enjoying your life, to be honest. So for the average person today, if you're not doing expensive things, then you're fine. So this is usually around $1 to $1.5 million of francs or euros, depending on the country you're in. So you're financially secure. If you're not investing in the stock market, then this could be you have your own home, right? It's paid off, and you have 2-3 other real estate properties that are paying off your home, or they are paying off your other expenses rather. So at the secure stage, your home is paid off, and you have additional income from stock market or real estate that is taking care of your life. And this is where most people are in retirement. Most people are just secure. They are not abundant, they are not independent, they are secure. Most people die at this stage. Most people hit financial security, so they have the homes paid off, they have some money that comes in every month that takes care of any additional things, and they're fine, but they can't do they can't make any big expenses or world trip or anything like that, So stage number 6 is financial independence, and this is where most people want to hit. This is where your investments pay off everything you want. So they pay off your living expenses plus additional income. You're fine. You can stop working. You can travel. This usually is at least this is between $2 and $5 million. So if at this stage, you are getting a lot of money every month from your stocks portfolio or from real estate. You have more than enough. You can travel with your family. You can do whatever you want. Of course, you can't buy a big yacht, you can't buy a luxury apartment or anything like that, but you're fine. You can travel, you can do anything, pretty much most things. Like, you can probably do like 80 to 90% of what most people want to do in life. Then the last stage is financial abundance. The difference between financial independence and financial abundance is one thing: your wealth is generational. That's the key difference. In financial abundance, your wealth is growing at a faster rate, much faster rate than you could ever need it, and it's going to the next generation. So your kids now are benefiting from your excess wealth, and maybe even your grandkids by this stage, because most people will hit this past their 50s, so you at this stage, maybe you have one or two grandkids, maybe not, but your kids are now benefiting. So you have like a trust fund for your kids. They will never run out of money. If you were to die, they have their investments for them that will take care of their colleges, their houses, everything. At this stage of abundance, you are actually more involved in like charity, involved in projects to help other people. You really live a very laid back lifestyle. You could be working. Most people still keep working, but at this stage, the wealth, like, your wealth can almost not go, because you are very well diversified. You are in different asset classes. These are all paying you enough funds every year, and you don't have to do anything to mess with it. You don't have to, nothing could really affect you. Like most financial, crashes will not wipe your wealth away. You'll be fine. So most people reach for financial independence, but I think if you really want to get the most out of life, you should be shooting for financial abundance. Like there's this saying that a good man leaves wealth for his children's children, right? So you're financially abundant when your grandkids are fine. They're well taken care of. So even if your kids mess up, your grandkids are fine, because you have trust funds for your kids, trust funds for your grandkids. That's financial abundance. So now you're fine, your life is good. Should you reach for this? Should you pursue this? Yes, 100%. Because generational wealth should always be your goal. Like, this is the one issue I have with the FIRE movement, the Financial Independence Retire Early movement, and I'm going to make a video about this. It is only about the individual or the individual couple. It's one generation. It doesn't think multi-generational, and that is a problem, because if you are not thinking multi-generational, then your wealth is really just one generation away from disappearing, from being non-existent, and true wealth is multi-generational. So if you look at all the billionaire families, not billionaire individuals, there's a difference. Billionaire families, it's wealth that goes through the family line, passed down generations. You have to be thinking that way. You can't be thinking about just me, myself, and I, or just you. It doesn't make any sense. You have to be thinking about your kids and your grandkids. When you are able to make the financial decisions that your grandkids benefit from, you are financially abundant. So these are the 7 stages of financial independence or financial freedom, all the way from financial dependence to financial abundance. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, send me an email, and make sure to check out our app, the Swiss Money Coach app, available on Google or Apple Play stores. Reach out if you want one-on-one coaching or you won't have anything. We have courses on our app, so you can always check them out and follow the 7 steps to achieve financial freedom on our app. Based on your location, we have different courses for them, irrespective of which country you live in. Thank you once again for staying tuned today, for watching this video, and I'll have the best. And don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your friends and family. Thank you. Bye-bye.